My parents refused to give me access to my money I earned. When I was 14, I started working. At the clue, I had no clue about bank accounts or the forms you had to fill out, so I let my mom fill it all out. Big mistake. She told me she made me a bank account and I could access the money when I was 15. I eventually forgot about it, and when I quit McDonald's 5 years later, I started working at a new place. When they hired me, I decided to fill out the forms myself, and when I asked my mom what my bank account was, she said she made me a new one, so I questioned the other one, and she made some excuse that she had accidentally set it as a savings account, so I can't access it till I was 16. I didn't mind because that was 6 months away, and I just started getting my new pay into my new bank account. After this, for completely different reasons, my family got extremely torn apart, and at my 16th birthday, I moved out to live alone, which was completely legal. I decided to move 25 hours away, and when I arrived at my destination, went to the bank to request my money, and they said I only have one bank account. There was nowhere with my $2,000. I was extremely confused, so I rang my mom. She started screaming at me, and it was just very confusing. Eventually, I moved back near home, still 2 hours away, and had to get government funding because I couldn't afford to live alone. Obviously, I'm 16. It came up in conversation with my mom that she had put my bank account on the forms as her saving account, which means I couldn't access it, and she had 2,000 put away. This was terrible news. It meant I couldn't use my earned money to buy anything, and I had to just keep it until my mom thought something was good enough to buy. She refused to even let me have it for bonds or rent, so that list of what she would accept is very low, closing parenthesis. So now to the present. I can't afford bonds, so I'm couch surfing and have never been able to buy myself anything because all my money goes to rent. Something I have wanted for years came on sale, and I text my mom asking if I could buy it because I would never be able to afford it again after it went off sale. I told her I'd repay it back into the bank account, but I just wanted this. She ignored me, and I ended up ringing my dad. Awful mistake again. My dad has told me I'm a failure all my life. Nothing's ever been good enough for him. So when he found out I wanted to use my savings, he exploded. He told me that I don't deserve anything for myself and that I should just pay all my bills and not be spoiled. He went into a huge rage that because I'm not in mainstream school anymore, I'm a failure, and if I stayed at home it'd be perfect. I left home because nothing was ever good enough for him, and it caused my mental health to spiral. I snapped for the first time in my life at him and screamed about what he's done to me. He didn't listen and just told me I'll forever be a failure and don't deserve my money because of that. So yeah, now I'm pissed. I never consented to them keeping my earned money. I worked over 150 hours for that, and they believe I don't deserve anything. Lol. I just want to buy myself something for the first time in years, and I can't even do anything because it's not written out anywhere that they need to give it to me or that it's mine except for my pay slips and bank transfers. So that's 150 hours of my life wasted. $2,000 down the drain, and I'll never be able to get myself something like this again. Edit. My social worker and I are going to seek legal advice towards this. Thank you, everyone. My parents have been abusive my whole life, mentally and physically, and somehow I've only now realized I have a lot to process, but I'm going to go to my old employer and ask for my paychecks, and then do what I can to take them to court. Even if it means they win, just the thought of me finally standing up for myself would help. I'll update when things have happened. My dog saves my ranch from entitled parents. This is an older story. Let me explain because I know your curiosity is running wild. A while ago, there was a trend on TikTok about kids going to people's ranch and letting their animals free. As all other trends, this one is deadly because you might get shot. I have a piece of property a little ways away from my home that holds cows that I am planning to keep. It's a good 50 acres. I have quite a bit of head there. Well, one night, around 3 a.m., I was asleep in my warm cozy bed when I get a call from the person neighboring that property. Neighbor, dude, you better get over here right now. Me. Why? What's wrong? Him? I don't know. There is someone or something in your pasture and your cattle are going wild. Well, shit. I got out of bed and threw my clothes on. I grab my gun and my dog. I hop in the truck and haul ass to the property. I get there, and sure enough, there's some fucking Chevy Equinox sitting at the edge of my property. I drive over to see some kids in my pasture with all the cattle running, and a male and a female in the car, recording them. I drive in there, grab my gun and shout to them, "Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?" "Heck, nothing, bro. Relax. Double quotes me. Don't tell me to relax. What the fuck are you doing? Ek, chill. We're just gaining some clout, that's it. EP dad, hey, leave my boys alone. Double quotes me. Hey, city slicker. What the hell do you think you're doing at 3 o'clock AM sneaking into my property? EPD, we're gonna get a lot of likes on this. Man, please dude, leave us alone. You ruined it. Me, fuck off. Leave. You're lucky I didn't shoot you or my dog didn't get a hold of you. Ek, fuck your dog. Double quotes me. Excuse me? I don't believe I heard you. Ek, I said fuck your shitty dog. This kid had the audacity to pick up a rock and throw it at my dog. She was in the bed of the truck, and it missed her. But this plum pissed me off. So I stick my head out the window and goes, which is the sound I make to stick her on something, or this case someone. She's a blue heeler, so she's a herding dog. So she took off and went to nibble on his ankles, which is how she gets cows to go the way she wants them to go. But when she did it to these kids, it just scared the piss out of them. Ek, get your fucking dog off me, it's biting me. Double quotes me. Don't worry son, it's a long ways from your heart. I was laughing my ass off while these kids were practically pissing themselves. I was pissing myself also because of how hard I was laughing. EP mom, get your dog off my babies. We just wanted to make a video, asshole. Nobody would be sad if you killed yourself. Fuck you. Her kids made it back to her car, and when they got in she told me, EPM, you'll be hearing from my lawyers very shortly. Long story short, I never heard from her lawyers. I never saw her again, nor heard anyone do anything like that again in my area. I love telling everyone the story because of this bitch watching her kids get humbled. Big shout out to my dog Loretta for scaring the piss out of these kids and not letting any of my cattle get loose. Love ya girl. Fly high among the stars. Miss you. Girly. Anyways, hope you guys had a good laugh. Update Karen alert in the comments. A Karen told me in the comments that I need to go to the mental hospital because I had my dog chase some kids and because I own a gun. But wait, there's more. She told Reddit that I was suicidal and had Reddit support ask me about me being suicidal. Fucking Karens. My mom is giving me the silent treatment because I didn't do her a favor. Hi, it's my first time posting here. My mother is 65 years old and I'm in my mid-30s. Let me start by saying that my parents have a really bad marriage and they hate each other. It's been like this since I was little. They live very close to me, and my mom stopped driving a few years ago because of health problems. However, she's not handicapped and she can walk. She just doesn't drive. My mom has been relying a lot on my dad to drive her to places. She doesn't like buses. Sometimes she would ask me to drive her and I didn't mind at first, but now I'm realizing that she has become lazy and entitled. For example, even if she needs to go somewhere that is walking distance from her house, she still wants a ride. She's too special to walk or take a bus. Or she'll complain that Uber is too expensive. Lately I've been driving her a lot because she complains that my dad and her are not on speaking terms since they fight every day. So I feel like now I'm taking the role of my dad with my mom since they both can get along and act like adults. Since my dad won't drive her, now it's my responsibility to do it. On Saturday my mom asked if I could buy some things from the grocery store for her, but I had enough of her depending on me. I told her to ask my dad and that it was not my problem if she had marital problems with him. I also told her she was becoming too dependent on both of us for transportation, and it was not good. She just said okay and has been giving me the silent treatment ever since that day. Was I bad for creating boundaries and standing up for myself? Not only my mom expects to be driven everywhere, but she uses me as her emotional tampon every day to tell me how miserable she is in her marriage. I'm just tired. M walks away and leaves me alone with her special needs child. I 29F work at a place where we stretch people, literally lay them on benches and stretch them. It's like physical therapy, but for stretching. Our clientele ranges from older people looking to regain mobility to middle school athletes. For the most part, I enjoy it. We have this one teenage boy who is brought into X week and appears to be severely autistic. I don't know his exact diagnoses, nor is it any of my business. His mom brings him in and from what I can tell, he can't communicate effectively or do anything on his own. He usually works with one or two of my male colleagues, who we'll call Mick 1 and Mick 2. Both of them have built an excellent rapport with him, especially Mick 1, and he seems comfortable with both of them. Last week, he ended up on my schedule for the first time. Mick 1 was scheduled to leave right before he arrived, and Mick 2 was working with someone else. I was surprised, but really wanted things to go smoothly, so I had Mick 1 give me tips on working with him. Mick1 even waited for the kid and his mom to arrive to introduce the kid to me personally. Even getting him settled on the table took some work, but the second I did, his mom walked out the door, as in, left her special needs child alone with someone he was unfamiliar with. I am not a healthcare worker. I am not a social worker. I am not a special educator. I do not know his diagnoses. I do not know anything about his care beyond the fact that he comes into X week to get stretched. If he has some sort of outburst or episode, I would not know what to do. She was gone for a good 20 minutes before she came back, saying she went to the nearby grocery store. Sessions are 50 mins. She spent the entire rest of the session in the corner, on her phone, completely ignoring us. At one point, I needed him to situate himself diagonally and he didn't understand, so I'm waving at her and eventually had to shout to get her attention. We finished the session okay, but I was secretly pretty annoyed. We're not a babysitting service. We're not a caretaking facility. Leaving your severe special needs child alone with someone he just met for the first time doesn't sit right with me. Am I overreacting?